Thanks for coming today. Before I get to my question, I just want to say accessibility to the constituents is important, and over the last 15 years I've met with these men, with Democrats and Republicans in Washington. We always make a plan ahead of time for an appointment. We set an agenda with specific questions, and we're civil. And they always come to our location, spend the time that we require, and review our issues. Sometimes they agree with us, sometimes they don't. But that's a huge part of their job, and these men, and the Democrats we've met with too, have always been gracious. With regard to Dodd Frank, when Dodd Frank was enacted, it made the housing industry more expensive for buyers and sellers. It made it more complicated, and it caused some people to feel like there's no way they could get a home. So it hurt personal property rights in Arkansas. Additionally, it has eviscerated the community banking system, which were the small banks that made the primary loans to buyers and sellers of real estate, to agri loans, to small business loans. And it ensconced the too big to fail banks. Now, I know that there's been an effort to try to undo some of the regulatory morass of Dodd Frank. Tell me what's happened and what you expect to happen this year to help the private property rights and the buyers and sellers of real estate in Arkansas.
I'll start. Thanks, Wally. The Dodd Frank Act was a law passed by Congress, signed by President Obama, and a result to the 08 financial crisis. And in it, it tried to correct potential causes of the crisis. They got some right, they got some wrong, but it was a very big, complicated, it's ended up in almost, I think, tens of thousands of pages of regulation, not only for the big Wall Street investment banking companies, but also on the mom and pop community banks that serve all of our towns. And one thing that he's referencing is that it has caused somewhere between probably 15 and 20% fewer people that would have been qualified for a home loan before that act passed in a place like Arkansas to be qualified today. And it's also raised the cost in fees and closing time for homeowners. And I used to be a community banker out in rural Arkansas, where one of the best houses you could get is a manufactured home that is made and then you put on property that maybe the family had. That has essentially been put virtually out of business by the Dodd Frank Act because it treats it like an installment sale instead of a normal bank loan. So it's really hurt rural borrowers, it's hurt city borrowers. Most banks offered free checking before Dodd-Frank, and after Dodd-Frank only about 30 or 40% of banks offer a free checking kind of product. So what we're doing in Congress is trying to come up with ways to change that act and make it better for consumers, both for their deposit type products and their loan type products. And the last thing I'll say before I ask Senator Cotton, who's also on the Senate Banking Committee, to comment, is you reference this idea of too big to fail, which was where the government bails out very large, complex financial institutions, global financial institutions. Dodd-Frank had as one of its goals by Senator Dodd and Congressman Frank that they would end that practice in this bill. But in fact, many of us believe it's ensconced, or it's actually institutionalized inside Dodd-Frank. So that's another thing that we're working hard with our friends over in the Senate to correct, and thanks for your question. Senator Cobb.
Well, first off, thanks for your kind words, Wally. For instance, the subject matter expert on banking, he just laid it out, but you've all felt this impact. It may not be like healthcare, you pay a premium every month, you take your kids to the doctor, you go to the doctor, you take an elderly parent to the doctor, but it's impacted you in so many ways. Maybe a loan that your small business used to get in a matter of hours or days now takes weeks or even a couple months. Maybe a home that you thought you could afford, you can't afford because the mortgage price or the mortgage fees, points, and so forth are too high. Maybe you used to be able to get free checking or a free debit card, you can't get that anymore. Those are all the impacts that unwise excessive regulation have imposed on the basic financial services that you use to live your life every single day. And Congress should do a lot better job than they've done, and our banking regulators should do a lot better job than they've done over the last 7 years under the Dodd Frank law.
Remember that the senator's staff, the congressman's staff will be out front. I've definitely got you running late now, so we're going to have to wrap it up. Let's give them a hand. Let's give our senator a hand.
have to use my phone to do some actual